Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Libra. That's Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising for the month of March. March is a little bit of a respite month, although that's relative. Um, there are things happening in March, not quite as dynamic perhaps as the things that happened in February, but as March progresses on and gets closer to the sun moving into Aries, things start to happen, including the start of eclipse season. So it does promise to be quite an interesting month, as all months seem to be interesting. 2024 is one of those years that I say the month is going to be a little bit calmer than the other months, but again, everything is relative. So let's get started with the astrology. We'll start right there. If these readings are general readings, if you would like to know more specifically about your own personal chart, I would suggest you get a personal reading with me. I do personal readings. I will not reach out to you. However, you will have to reach out to me. And you can do that by going to my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. There is a link below for that. I do hour and hour and a half readings. If it is your first time and you can see yourself through to do the 90-minute reading, I would suggest that. There's a lot of information that comes through that first reading. I record all my sessions so you can listen to it over and over again. And I will bet you every time you listen to it, you will hear something new. It's just the nature of the reading. Um, and let's get started. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I also have a Patreon page if you want to support me that way, but I'll say that at the end too, probably. I apologize if I say it at the beginning and at the end. I don't always remember if I said it. So, all right, let's share my screen. Okay, so let's go right to, as soon as I can find it here. Here we go. Yes, 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 yes. Libra, 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 Libra. Libra is a cardinal air sign. Cardinal signs start things, okay? And Libra, of course, starts the season of fall here in the Northern Hemisphere. It is a cardinal air sign. And its mantra is "We are." It could also be "I relate." And your ruling planet, of course, is the planet of love, Venus. So this year, 2024, is an 8 vibration year. And so the strength card is the card for the universal year vibration. The strength card is associated with the sign of Leo. And so this year, Leo becomes an important part of your journey, of your story. It is your 11th house, so it has to do with your goals. It has to do with the organizations that you belong to. It has to do with your friends. It has to do with technology. So all of those things will be highlighted this year as we're in an 8 year. The 8 is also on the tree of life. It is on the path between the Sephiroth of expansion and the Sephiroth of cutting away. And so this is a year that it balances our ability to let go of things that no longer serve us and move in the direction of that which we want to build. It is a karmic year. As you sow, so shall you reap. Now, you're no stranger to balance, are you, Libra? So this is actually this is your wheelhouse, Libra. Anybody knows how to balance the opposites, it's you. So let's see what's specifically happening for the month of March. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of energy here in your sixth house. We can see all this Pisces energy here in your sixth house. We start the month with energy with Mars and Venus and Pluto in that fifth house. Pluto is going to be there for a long time, so you'll get used to that. Mars and Venus start the month, and then they eventually move into that house of health. So your health is a focus this this month. It is a month which we may have an opportunity to rest more than other months. So I would say rest up. Rest up, Libra. It's especially important for your health. So self-care is going to be very important. This might be a good time for you to go on some sort of retreat where you can go and get a massage and meditate and have some beauty treatments and walk through nature. That kind of thing is going to be very helpful for you. Specifically, we look at week to week. March 1st, we have the sun making a sextile to Jupiter. All the sextiles that you're going to see this month are waning sextiles, which means their underlying energy is one of raising all boats, humanitarian endeavor, move progressive thought, progressive thinking, moving away from the past and moving into the future with both optimism and a clear eye that we can only do this if we do it together. The first sextile, of course, with the Sun and Jupiter, the two largest planetary bodies in our solar system, brings a lot of luck and a lot of optimism to start the month with. On the 3rd, Venus makes a last quarter square to Uranus. We have Venus making a last quarter square this month. We have Mars making a last quarter square to Uranus. Both of those can create some chaos. Venus, we can create some chaos in our relationships. Mars can be very explosive, so you need to be aware and take care at that time. Venus, of course, being your ruling planet, squaring Uranus. Venus is, at the time that this happens, in your 5th house of romance and children. So there could be some shock and awe around that. And Uranus is in Taurus in that 8th house of shared resources, shared money, shared bodies, coming up against forces greater than self. You could have a shock in your relationship around issues of, now this does not necessarily, this is not true for everybody, but I'll say it because it is a possibility and somebody may need to hear it. There may be some betrayal around money issues here. So just be aware of that at this time. But ultimately, as I say that, I don't want you to fret too much because ultimately it's going to free you from a situation that you're better off being out of. Okay. On the 4th, Mercury makes a sextile, waning sextile to Uranus. Again, humanitarian endeavor, moving in the direction of progressive thinking. Uranus and Mercury have a special relationship because Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. And so we have our mind, our logical mind, connecting with our higher mind, our past lives, our future possibilities. And so the world is our oyster, as they say in Brooklyn. The world is your oyster. Anyway, on the 8th, Mercury makes a conjunction to Neptune. Now, this happens every year. Mercury is the planet associated with our mind, our reasoning mind, our logical mind. We delineate with Mercury. And Neptune is kind of fuzzy and dissolving. And so this can be a time when we either have some confusion or we feel super connected to spirit. I would suggest the super connected to spirit. If you want to meditate at this time, it's a really good time to meditate. You do need to be careful because things aren't very clear. And so I wouldn't make big decisions, but it is a good time to be inspired. On the 9th, Mars makes that last quarter square to Uranus, just like Venus did. Only Mars can be aggressive. There can be upheavals with this. The upheavals are about freeing us from the known and moving us into our unknown future. This can be very rebellious and can be relatively explosive. So be extra careful on that on the 9th there, and around just in general at the end of that first week, be a little bit more circumspect. Week 2 is a little bit of a rest, probably of all the weeks. This is the rest week. Although, I say that there's no guarantees. We start on the 10th. We have a new moon at 21 degrees of Pisces. This is in your house of health, this is a good time to go on that retreat that I was talking about and get taken care of, a health retreat. There's a retreat here in Massachusetts at the Kripalu Institute. I'm pretty sure they still do this. It's like a silent retreat, and you go and you don't say anything. You have to be silent, and you spend the time meditating, eating healthy vegetarian food, getting massages, doing yoga. That would be a really good way to spend this particular new moon for yourself. We also have on that day Mercury making a sextile to Pluto. Again, sextiles are mentally stimulating. They open the lines of communication, they open us to new ideas. Pluto is about change and transformation, so we do get a good idea of what needs to change. Mercury is in your house of health, and Pluto is in your house of creative self-expression. No, no, it's not. Is it? Hold on. Yes, 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 yes. Mercury is in, yes. No, no, Mercury is in Aries. So your house of relationship. So it has to do with romance and relationship. Hmm. On the 9th, when we have Mars square Uranus, I did miss this. I don't want to miss it. It's important. So the 9th, we have that kind of can be somewhat dangerous energy of Mars and Uranus. We also have the Sun making a sextile to Uranus on that day. And on that day, Mercury will ingress into Aries. And so there's a lot of like newness coming in. There can be some disruption, but there's also a lot of newness and a lot of great ideas on how to move forward to make the future better for all of us. And then we have the new moon in Pisces, where you're going to go on your little trip. If you can, of course. March 11th, Venus ingresses into Pisces. Now, Venus is your ruling planet. And in Pisces, it's exalted. So this is a really nice energy for you. It's an energy of healing. It's an energy of compassion. And we definitely want to have healing compassion for yourself. One of the things that Libra sometimes forgets to do is to take care of themselves, because they're so aware of the needs of others. And so this is a time where it can be about you, Libra. All right. Week 3. St. Patrick's Day, the sun conjuncts Neptune. Now, the sun delineates things. When the sun is out, we see things clearly. And so the sun is an energy of seeing clearly. Neptune is an energy of obfuscation. And so it's not that easy to see things necessarily, although we can see people's souls. We can see people's soul first with this. Um, it is St. Patrick's Day, so if you like to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, make sure you have an Uber, or you have somebody who's going to drive you back and forth who's not impaired. Um, it is the sun conjunct Neptune. You actually don't even have to drink to feel a little bit drunk. But if you do, just be extra careful around that energy. On the 19th, the sun ingresses into Aries. This is when things start to like liven up a bit. Well, actually, that Mars square Uranus is kind of lively. But with the sun in Aries, the sun moving into your house of relationship. And if anybody knows how to relate, it's you guys. So relating, contracts, uh, business partners, also open enemies, if you have any. I mean, you might not, become highlighted when the sun moves into Aries. When the sun moves into Aries, that is the uh, equinox. That means the light and the dark are equal. We start the spring here in the northern hemisphere, and you guys in the southern hemisphere start your fall. The light starts to grow here in the northern hemisphere and starts to wane in the southern hemisphere. So this is a time of balance, and you are the sign of the scales. So you know how to do this, guys. On The 21st, the sun makes a lovely sextile to Pluto. This helps us get to the bottom line of situations. What is essential when it comes to making the world a better place? We also have Venus make a conjunction to Saturn on that day at 13 degrees of Pisces. This is happening in your house of health. It is important that you take care of yourself here. Venus as your ruling planet. Saturn tends to depress or suppress the energy of Venus. And so you can feel a little bit low energy at this time, or you can feel like, um, oh, but it is the start of the synodic cycle between Venus and Saturn. And what Venus and Saturn helps us to do, it helps us to discern what we do need, what we do like, and how we're going to get it. Okay, so it may be a little bit of a low point for you in the month, but know that it's in service to all. It's all in service to new beginnings for you, especially in your relationship to your own health and well-being. On the 22nd, Mars ingresses into Pisces. Now, Venus loves being in Pisces. Your ruling planet loves being in Pisces. Mars, not so much. Mars does like to get to places direct, and there's nothing direct about Pisces. If anybody's watched a fish in a fish tank, they don't really go in straight lines unless maybe you're feeding them and then they see that you're putting food in and then they run to the food. But generally, there's this sort of going with the flow kind of energy with Mars in Pisces. Now, Mars, it can be an irritating energy, and in Pisces, it is in your house of health. So you could feel some irritation here. Just go with the flow. Don't fight it. Find out where Mars is taking you in this journey. It may be pointing out where you're expending too much energy. It may be pointing out where you need to invest some energy into your health and well-being. On the last week, we have Venus making a waning sextile to Jupiter. These sextiles are about moving us in a more humanitarian direction, more care for the group. We can do this together, right? That kind of energy. Together we can do what we need to do to make the world a better place kind of energy. And I'm telling you, Venus and Jupiter are the benefics, and this is really good for you. So where Mars moving into Pisces, you can feel a little like low energy. Venus conjuncting Saturn, low energy. When we have this Venus waning sextile to Jupiter, your energy comes back up. On the 25th, we have the full moon in the sign of Libra. That's your sign, Libra, the moon in Libra on the south node, and the sun in Aries on the north node. This is an eclipse, and so this is a full moon eclipse. Usually the full moons are a fruition. Something comes to fruition. There's an awareness that you will have. The next new moon that's coming up in April is going to be in your house of relationship. So this may be a wake-up call in your relationships that you will be able to take an action to change or to take the next step in April. So this is a point of awareness for you, but it is an eclipse. And so eclipses can be intense. Eclipses can be highly emotional, even though the moon in Libra isn't particularly an emotional moon. It tends to want to like keep things on an even keel. It can still be a little rough, but you've spent a lot of time taking care of yourself this month. It's almost as if you're preparing yourself for April in March. So make sure you get the rest that you need. On March 28th, Venus makes a waning sextile to Uranus. Venus and Uranus is about change. So if you have an illumination about relationship, you will have the opportunity to change that. Toot sweet. Not too long after, 4 days later, maybe you will have the option to free yourself from a situation that's holding you back. So, but if that's not your situation, you will have a situation that can help you progress progress in the direction that you want to go. So it could be that you stay in the relationship, but there's a new focus and a new direction for the relationship. All right, so that's what I see in the astrology. So this will be time stamped, so you will be able to come right to the reading if you want, or hold on, I have to stop talking. Otherwise I forget what I have to press. All right, we're going to be using, I'm going to do an oracle deck. This is the Mystic Sisters Oracle by Emily Balavet, one of my favorite artists, actually. And we'll pull one of these. This will be like an overarching energy for the month, and then I will do a reading with the Light Seers Tarot. Let me, oops, uh-oh. Oh dear, one just flew out. I have to go get it. I'll be right back. It flew across the room. Now, I don't know if that means it's not your card or it is your card, but let's see what the card is because it's too far away for me to see. Hold on one moment. So the card that flew all the way across the room was this card, Mania. So I am going to read this because this may be for somebody, and I will pick another one as well. Because as I said, I'm not sure if didn't want to be in the deck, or this is exactly what you needed to read. But because you're that sign of balance, and you have a dual sign, like all air signs are dual signs, maybe two cards are what we need to do. So let me read this one first, and then I will pick another one. I might put Mania back in and pick another one. That way we'll see. If Mania comes up, then we know that's it. That's it. But let's do it this way. Mania, anxiety, nervous imaginings. The Roman goddess Mania is the mother of spirits of the night who ruled the undead in the underworld. Her name means to think vigorously, though this does not refer to simply interesting thoughts or innovative ideas. She is the goddess of madness. Mania would send her spirits to earth to inflict insanity and to cause people to think in a state of frenzied delusion. Drawing this card is a warning to cease your obsessive thinking. Sometimes we get caught up in the loop of worries, fears, and anger, but not all of our thoughts are based in reality. Do not believe everything your own mind is telling you. It is imperative now to meditate. Sanity needs to be restored. You have reached a point where you must allow yourself plenty of space and direct yourself to be quiet, still, and calm. And so perhaps that sort of goes along with the idea of, going away and doing some sort of meditative silent retreat, or just a retreat, or just a spa week or weekend or a spa day. I mean, not everybody can afford to take the time off and has the pleasure of doing that. So whatever you need to do to nurture yourself, you definitely need to do this month. Lest mania visits you. But I am going to pick another card. The Red Queen. The Red Queen. Yes, she is. Is she beautiful? Okay. See what the Red Queen says. I'll hold it up. It'll be interesting to see what the cards say. Caution and ambition. Oops. Caution. There's a lot of caution, right? Okay. The Red Queen solemnly crosses the threshold toward her chosen destination. She has checked her strengths, weaknesses, and personal initiative thoroughly, and she believes now that she has the inner resources to move forward. She recalls a time in the past when she had set herself a goal but fell short. She was not aware of the level of responsibility and persistence persistence the challenge would require. Now her inner capabilities are fully developed and she cautiously moves forward. Drawing this card advises you That solid achievement is now possible, but exercise self-care and assess your own needs and your abilities along your path towards success. It's funny because both of these cards warn for you to sort of take it easy and make sure you're ready. And it feels to me like at the beginning of the month, you're not quite ready for anything, but by the end of the month, uh, you've done what you needed to do for yourself. So don't forget the middle part to do what you need to do for yourself. Okay, let's take a look at the Light Seers deck. What does this have to say? Now, again, this is a general reading. Your intuition trumps everything, okay? It trumps everything. So you have to go by your own intuition on things, but there is definitely a theme in the sky, in the and in the what the mystic sisters have to say to you. Okay. One more shuffle. I think we'll be good. We start with the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Cups, trying to decide, trying to decide. Now, this can be illusions and delusions, um, but you're trying to make a decision. You're trying to make a decision, and it is an emotional decision. Okay, let's see what challenges that. The Queen of Pentacles. Um, it's requiring you to be practical in your decisions. Now, this vibration in the system I use is an 11 vibration, and 11 is about relationship. It's also a initiation of the personality, and so it requires you not to get attached, and this can warn against codependency. Okay, so be aware of that. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles crossing it. So emotional decisions need to be balanced with practical concerns. Underneath it all is the Strength card. This says you have the strength you need. You have the strength, but you do need to find the balance. Okay, find the balance. In the past, you've been thinking about taking a new step. What are your plans? What do you want to do? It seems like these cards indicate a time of decision that you've been thinking about, thinking about, thinking about. In the sky, we have success. So success could be yours, assuming you choose the right way. This is success and self-expression and victory. And so Spirit wants you to know that you can be successful in whatever it is that you endeavor. But you're in this place of divine discontent. You're just not happy. You're just not satisfied. You're feeling a little stuck, and you're not paying attention to the gifts that are being offered to you. 4 can be about a rest, right? Rest, not arrest, rest. Uh, pondering. Okay. How it's seen from the outside. Um, you're seen as somebody who's reliable, family oriented, good with money, generally, good with money. Your domestic situation. You've had to really, you need to work on your boundaries in your domestic situation. If somebody's taking too much from you, you need to stand your ground with that. Sometimes it's hard at home though, because you'd like to have a place where you don't have to always be standing your ground. Hopes and fears as the Queen of Swords. This can be a decision that you need to make that you're dreading, um, or a decision that you hope you can make, that you're strong enough, that you have the wisdom to do. We have the Eight of Pentacles, so there's plenty of work coming your way. This is at the end of the month, so there's plenty to do. You're not going to be lacking that. I'm going to pick, see if we can get a major arcana. We have the Queen of Cups reminding us to nurture ourselves. The King of Pentacles. This is, so we need to nurture ourselves emotionally and take care of our finances, practically. And a new opportunity is coming. A new opportunity is coming to start something new, a new project, perhaps. Underneath it all is your card, Justice. Now, so far, I've done all the air signs. I tend to like do all the air signs and I do all the water, whatever's next for me. Every single read. This is my third my third reading that I've done for this month, and every single one of them have had the Justice card. So this is about, there's a balance coming. They want you to balance yourself. We have the King of Swords, so this is good judgment. All right, action, perspective. It kind of goes along with the Queen. And the Four of Pentacles. Again, this is just warning you to not overextend yourself financially. That's really the sort of like a sub series or a sub sensibility here. It's just really what it's saying is that your next decisions need to be carefully thought out to make sure you have the resources and the resourcefulness to move forward. As much as you would like this, and this is a possibility, it is going to take some careful planning, and really kind of coming into an understanding of what you want to do and how hard you're willing to work for it. Okay. All right. Well, that's the story, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you would. If you'd like to support my work, I do have a Patreon page. There's a link below for that. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you can go to my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. There's a link below for that as well. I am going to be starting a new introduction to Kabbalah. That's going to happen in May. I will have that up on my website on the events page. So if you want to be part of that, you can put yourself in, and I will contact you closer to the class. If you would like the reading, I said it is a combination of numerology, astrology, and Kabbalah. Most people who get them love them, and I do record all my readings so that you can listen to them over and over again if you need to. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful month. Make sure you do what you need to do for your own health and well-being, and everything else will flow well from that. Take care. Namaste.